Back to Access Tech Live.
And we are back on Access Tech Live. I'm Stephen Scott, Marc Aflalo, of course, with me as always. We're going to get into keyboards. Looking forward to getting into keyboards, Marc. I like keyboard talk.
Before keyboard, Stephen, I got to ask you a question because you talked about that Rabbit R1. If we think back, this was the AI device that actually launched and was announced at CES. I think it became, was it available in the market after that Humane AI pin? Around the same time,
yeah.
right? And it got a lot of attention because those were the two only devices that were kind of fighting for any kind of real estate. So what are your thoughts?
Yeah, so I've got it in my hand here, and I will tell you, I've been using it for a couple of days, and how can I say this? So I dropped it on the floor yesterday, potentially damaging it, and I didn't care.
Okay, so what you're saying is useless?
So if you've got no vision or low vision, good luck trying to set it up on your own because there's no accessibility functionality in it at all. It doesn't speak to you in the setup process. Once you've got it set up, once you've got it connected online, once you've connected your services and created an account, the website, by the way, is accessible, good news, then you can start using it. You just hold in the only button on the device on the right-hand side, I should say. No, hang on. Yeah, left-hand side. I get my left and right mixed up. You hold that button in, and that basically, on the screen apart, a little rabbit pops up, and that's telling you it's listening. And then you just
their
talk
logo,
to
Stephen. You got to go with their logo.
I guess that makes sense. So, at that point, you can start asking questions. But to be honest, I could do the same with a smartphone. Why have I got this extra thing in my hand? And, it's a lot bigger than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be the size of the palm of my hand. It reminds me, do you remember the old portable mini disc players we used to have back in the day? It's the same size as that.
It reminds me of like a flip phone. It reminds me of a flip phone in terms of a phone closed, and it's got a small screen that's probably 2/3 of the side of the left side of it. It's got that little scroll wheel, almost BlackBerry style, on the top right. Is it a scroll wheel or is that the camera?
No, there's a scroll wheel, and then above it, encased, is the camera, which does flip around. So the camera hides itself when not in view. It does have, of course, the vision capabilities, but this is all dependent on the inbuilt AI, which is okay, but it's still quite slow. You know what? It's okay. Do you want it? You can have it. I can email it to you.
Yeah, do me a favor. You want to throw that on a carrier pigeon, and whenever it gets here, it gets here?
You're welcome to. I mean, it's okay, but I can do it all on my phone. I really don't need it.
Now, I used to think that I was really into keyboards. Then my son was born, and he probably has, no joke, Stephen, probably about 22 different keyboards. He blames it on gaming and all the different clickiness and this. It blows my mind. But I'm holding up now, this is the Pebble Keys-To-Go from Logitech. Logitech makes some really fun keyboards, especially for the kind of everyday user. They sent me this. This is about the same size as the Magic keyboard from Apple. It's not a full-size keyboard in terms of having a full number pad on the side at all. It's got they use the Pebble word with these little kind of small rounded keys. It's a fun, good portable keyboard that's available for under $150, wireless available, and you can connect it with multiple devices, which is pretty cool. But you held up earlier on in the show when we were talking about this segment another keyboard that I think is a little bit more attractive to people who are out and about and might want something not necessarily attached to their iPad or attached to their device. Which one is that you have there?
So I have the brand new Logitech Keys-To-Go 2. Now, this keyboard is really cool because it's actually smaller than that portable keyboard. And, the Pebbles, whatever it's called, Pebble 2, is a very portable keyboard. You could easily chuck it in a bag and take it with you wherever you go. But this one comes with something cool. It comes with its own cover built in. I can close it over. It's got its little cover, very cool. It is in white, I will tell you. So that's not going to last long in my hands, that's for sure. But the keyboard is white as well. It comes, I think, in a dark color of dark gray or black as well. But this keyboard is very similar to the Pebble in the sense that you can connect it to 3 different devices at once via Bluetooth. It doesn't have the ability to connect via one of the Logitech dongles that often come with these devices. There is a bit of strange consistency with Logitech keyboards, and this one really highlights it because oftentimes you'll have USB-C charging capability, or as a keyboard I'm going to show you shortly, has AAA batteries in there. This one has, remember the coin batteries you get for your watch batteries? That's what's contained in here. And in order to get into them, there's 2 little hex screws. So you need a special screwdriver to get into that compartment to get the batteries out. Now, apparently this will last, I think 36 months, it says. So we should be all right. But
wow.
it does seem a little bit strange that that's how they've decided to do it. Why not put a rechargeable in there? I don't know. And in terms of price, we're talking $99 for this Canadian. So it's not a cheap keyboard, but it is really portable. It is smaller, about by an inch by height and width than the Magic Keyboard, which is kind of interesting, but really nice. Despite the size, I thought, because I have what's called FFS, fat finger syndrome. Don't panic, folks. Don't hit the bleep button. Everything's fine. Fat finger syndrome is what I have. And as a result of that, I do have sometimes struggle with these smaller keyboards, but this one is gorgeous. It's got a really nice, hear that? Isn't that lovely? Beautiful keys on there.
I don't
nice
hear it, but it's okay.
You don't hear that. And of course, low key travel as well. Very similar to the Magic Keyboard. Really, really nice. But do you want something bigger? Do you want a bigger keyboard than that? I've got a bigger one.
Isn't bigger better? Size matters, right?
Of course it does. This is cool. If you've got fat finger syndrome, you're going to love this. So this is the Logitech Wave ergonomic keyboard. Now, when we think ergonomic, you might think about those keyboards that are split down the middle. You have the keyboard split one side left and right.
I do.
That's not the case with this. It's a full-size keyboard and the similar functionalities of a regular keyboard, but the design is much more, as it says, a wave. And the idea is that as your hand sits on the keyboard, it should sit more naturally. You're not bending fingers in an odd way to type. So much more ergonomic. It is a full-size keyboard, although it doesn't have what's called the pack of 6 keys, the home, the end, the page up, page down. Instead, they've kind of crunched it all together into the function drawers at the top, and you've also got the number pad on the side. It also comes with this rather interesting fabric little wrist rest, actually built on to the device. It's not something that's separate. You can't take it off. I mean, I have tried, but it doesn't do it, and I think I'll break it if I do. Does, of course, come with little stands at the back, which gives it about a 4-degree height when it's lying down. It means it gives it a little bit of height, and you've also got on the back, which I love as well, and I'm just feeling for it here. You've got the little compartment for the AAA batteries and a compartment for the Logitech dongle as well. So if you are taking it traveling, you don't have to worry about losing it. It also connects to 3 different devices in the same way, and you can use it with the Logitech software to get added functionality. Like, for example, customizing these function keys at the top per app. So you could say, for example, if you're in Zoom or you're in Teams or you were in Outlook, you could have different shortcuts running each and every time you open up that app. So a really nice keyboard. And I've been using it. I'm normally not a fan of these kind of keyboards. I feel they're a little bit cheaper in design. I just don't like the sponginess of the keys. But the very quiet keys, this is actually really nice. And I have been using it for a few days and enjoying it. And in terms of price, well, it's cheaper than the Keys-To-Go, and it's bigger. You get more for your money. When does that happen these days? $79.99 Canadian.
Oh, wow. You know, I am a fan of the split keyboards. I'm holding one up now. This is the Kensington ProFit Ergo. Kensington has been doing a really good job at ergonomic design as of late. And this one, similar to the Wave, it's meant for ergonomics, but it has the split down the middle. And I must say, I like the split, Stephen, because it forces me to type properly, to keep my fingers on the right places and make sure I get the keys right. The Microsoft Natural keyboard was one of the first ones that I used, and I fell in love with that device. And what's interesting about the Kensington one is it has a similar pad on the bottom where you rest your wrist. I'm holding my wrist kind of on the side here, as you can see the angle. But it actually rests the wrist above the keys, so that when you're actually on the keyboard and you're typing, you're in a much more natural position. I know the Wave tries to do that as well, but you know how you've got the 45-degree angle little tabs on the back there for the top? They've actually done it on the bottom of this keyboard. There are those little tabs that pop out to lift the bottom part of the keyboard, so that when you're typing, your wrists are even more naturally curved, so you're really not having to stress anything. This is super important for people who are on the verge of carpal tunnel syndrome, who have, you know, a lot of pain in their hands. I find that super, super interesting, and I do find it really comfortable. Now, on the opposite side of the Wave, you've got that full numpad, and you don't have that pack of 6, as you call it. Well, this one has the pack of 6. It has the up, down arrows, the page, but it doesn't have the number pad. So you've got the home, page up, page down, but no number pad. So it's a little bit narrower than that. It's around the same price. It can also connect via Bluetooth. This one has a dongle in the bottom. You can actually pull the dongle out. It fits nicely. Again, rechargeable. You can connect to multiple devices. And I have to say, Stephen, and nothing to knock on Logitech because I love their stuff. When it comes to ergonomics, though, Kensington has so much invested in it. They have a whole arm. We've had conversations with them about the ergonomics, and they do an incredible job because their primary market really is businesses and companies that are sitting there equipping these multiple, pods in their offices. And when it comes to the ergo side of things, they really do quite a good job. And I'm really enjoying this one. Again, I kind of feel like you with the clickiness of the keys. I wish there was a little bit more click. That being said, in a broadcast environment like we work in, that would be kind of counterintuitive, I think. At least I know on my end, but a good option here as well. Not portable, yes, it's portable. You can bring it with you, but I love that cover you have on that Keys-To-Go, because you can just pop it into a bag and use it with your iPad if you don't want to have a case with everything else built in. A pretty good option here as well. Maybe we should swap.
Yeah, well, no, that's not happening. But I will say, the Logitech Keys-To-Go 2, and it's important I distinguish them, because the first edition was terrible. It was the worst keyboard I had ever used. Really? And I remember when this was announced thinking, goodness, I hope they've improved this. I hope they've listened to feedback. And I was really surprised and really impressed. I would never recommend the Logitech first version of Keys-To-Go. But you're right. Kensington is a name that I've known for years. We've all probably heard it. And like you say, business... there's one thing about Kensington and business keyboards generally. I've felt this with Dell and HP over the years. They're much stronger, much more well-built, because, of course, they're being used all day long in call centers and offices all around the land. So they have to be strong. But you know what? For consumers who don't have the money to go out and spend a fortune on mechanical keyboards and all those cool things, as good as they sound, for most people who just want to send an email, who in this case, with the Keys-To-Go 2, might want to connect it to their phone or connect a keyboard to their iPad, then that is exactly what this is for.
Stephen, coming up, from smart rings to smart glasses, there's no shortage of tech to wear. What kind of wearable device would make an impact on your life? That's our question of the week, and we're going to get to your answers at home after a quick break, and of course, Stephen, your answer here on Access Tech Live.
There's more Access Tech Live to come. Get involved and have your say at Access Tech Live on social media. We'll be right back.